The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Paw Talk, everybody. I'm Jim.
And I'm Paul. Jimmy, what are we going to talk about this fine Thursday evening?
Might as well talk about the latest with Trump and the press conference.
Oh, that was... I didn't see the whole thing. I only seen the confrontation part.
The press conference was for... he had a woman come out and explain how he... no conflict of interest with his businesses.
Right, okay.
How he put him in blind trust, and then he's got the sons taking over the other business.
Right.
That's what it was all about. And when he started taking questions, this CNN director, he had said something about CNN, I think, before he started taking questions.
Yep.
Or the fake news.
Right, it was something about a BuzzFeed.
No, he didn't say BuzzFeed at that time. He said something about fake news.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So then, about 10 minutes later when she got done and he come back up to the podium and he was taking questions, the CNN, well, you attacking us, we want a question, and the guys, and Trump's pointing to a woman over there. No, go ahead, ask your question. And the rest is history. Everybody must have seen that soundbite.
Yeah, he just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah, he wouldn't shut up. Stop. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Your organization is terrible. You're fake news. And the guy shut up.
Oh, God, you got to love him. And you know what? The thing that kills me, right? I don't even care about I do care about the BuzzFeed part of it. But, here's Obama trashing Fox News for 8 years. Nobody said a fucking word about it. Nothing, right? He goes after CNN when it's proven they've been posting.
Well, let's tell the audience what it.
It was a BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed, published an article saying that Trump's attorney had ties with these Russians and they hired prostitutes so they could have golden showers and all this shit. Turns out it was the wrong Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen is Trump's attorney. And they were trying to implicate Trump because of his attorney, and it turns out it wasn't even the same guy.
Right.
So they printed it anyways, and that's when he was bullshit with CNN.
Yeah. And supposedly...
Because they ran it along with them.
Right. They picked up a BuzzFeed story and ran with it. And evidently, this story had been out for a while. It was known in the journalistic
nobody could
world.
Corroborate it.
Right. So a lot of people had the story and sat on it, evidently.
Right, because until corroboration come in.
Right, and nobody could. Brokaw said he couldn't. That's why he never ran with the story. And, I don't put a lot of journalistic integrity in Brokaw's.
No, but
at least he didn't publish it.
I bet you it wasn't his decision.
Yeah, he probably went upstairs and they said, "No, don't you dare."
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you dare. We're running thin. So, like I said, all I caught was just a confrontation with the CNN reporter. I bet he feels like a real friggin' idiot right now. Because he's being laughed at by the
Jake Tapper.
Oh, it was Tapper?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't know it was Tapper. That's beautiful. It's going to be a long 4 years for journalists. Because,
4 years going to be a long...
well, it could be 8, but,
exactly.
But it's a guaranteed 4. And with Twitter, he doesn't even need to go through him. I love it. I love a guy that sends me I can talk to him personally. You know what I mean? When has that ever happened with the president? It's amazing. Journalism.
Tell them how the president took a shit fit.
Oh, yeah, because this is supposedly...
not corroborated.
Yes. That Trump wrote an executive order. And basically what it does is it erases all of Obama's executive orders
in
from
one
2000.
swipe.
Right. Instead of going through them and he's just going to do it in one fell swoop. And he's carrying the document around with him basically until he gets sworn in, and then he signs it. And the word got out, evidently, and Obama was not pleased from what I heard. Heard he gave the desk a little kick. I'd charge him for that, too. Because that's an old desk, man.
Charge him. Everything they ain't nailed down, he's probably taken with them.
Yeah, like the Clintons did?
Yeah.
And
it's the Democrats for you. We want this. We don't like them, but we want it.
Oh, and did you see how all of Trump's hotels and businesses that have outside interests that he's profiting from outside foreign interests is all going directly back into the Treasury?
Yeah. Not even taking the profit.
He's not charging the American public for any of his vacations, and he's not taking a salary.
Right.
No president has ever done anything close to this. Kennedy didn't take a salary. He didn't take a salary.
Well, he was rich enough.
Right, and I give him credit for that. You know what I mean? I don't need that. It's a couple $100,000. Back then, it was probably, like $190,000 or something like that. Back in the 60s.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I bet it wasn't much more than 200 if it was.
I remember when it went up to 200, but I don't remember the year.
Yeah. So anyways, nobody else has ever given the profits from their businesses back to the American people.
Exactly. Like I said, this guy can't be bought because he's got enough money. He's got enough money where he can throw money into our treasury. You know what I mean? It's enough to make the taxpayers want to pay more.
Oh, you're going to love this, Jimmy. I read this last night. There's some tribe, Native American tribe. They're down on the border in Arizona.
Yeah.
They said that they own the land up to the Mexican border, and they're not going to let Trump build the wall through it. It's like, no, you don't. It's called an easement.
Right. It's eminent domain. It's everything.
Yeah, well, first of all, you can't own land right up to the border.
Well,
there's an easement.
A reservation, yeah.
The border itself, right? A certain footage back, a certain amount on either side of that border is government land.
They don't own the border itself.
Yeah, you can't own the border and put up a fucking toll booth. What the hell is that? I liked what everyone was saying. Good. Then build the wall around them, and they can be in Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. And you could adhere to their laws. We'll secede that part of the land.
Yep, we'll give you all 75 square miles of it or whatever. It's all yours. See how they like
they'll pay Mexican taxes.
Yeah, see how they like it when the fucking drug cartels take that little fucking Pueblo town over.
Oh yeah.
They'll be screaming for that wall to be put the other way. It's ridiculous. Do people even think before they open their mouths what they're actually saying?
Well, that's liberals. That they think with their heart. Oh, you hate, you're a bigot, you're this, that, and every other thing. For what? For trying to enforce the law?
Yeah, it's a law.
It's the law and been the law for centuries.
No nation can survive without borders. You cannot have open borders. Europe's finding that out.
Right.
You basically can cross just from country to country in Europe. It's like you just walk across the fucking border.
Well, they don't check a passport or a ID or anything?
They may, but I mean, it's pretty much open borders. Once you're there, I guess.
Well, you just don't go through customs. You just show an ID.
Right, you just show, like it used to be at Canada.
Right.
You just showed an ID and strolled across. Well, unless you're not supposed to be there, then they don't even ask for anything. They just go ahead. Because the way they look at it, you're going to the next country. They're glad to see you go to the next country. It's like Canada. They'll let anyone into the United States. They just don't want anyone coming out and into Canada. That's where they're tough.
All right, we're going to play a clip.
Go.
Tucker Carlson talking to somebody that's sticking up for affirmative action at Harvard.
Yes. He's a Harvard admissions administrator.
Yeah, and the guy's arguing with is actually Asian. That's relevant to the story.
You'll get the gist when you hear it.
Okay.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson. Tonight, here's an interesting and potentially significant story. A group of about 60 Asian organizations is suing Harvard University. They say that affirmative action hurts Asian students, and they have the numbers to prove it. According to a study by Princeton University, Asian applicants must score 140 points higher on the SAT than white students do 270 points higher than black students do and 450 points higher than African American students just to have the same shot at getting in. Is that fair? Joining us now is someone who thinks it is fair. Jay Chen is a Harvard alum who supports affirmative action. He's part of a group that is fighting the lawsuit we just mentioned, and he joins us now live. Jay, thanks a lot for coming on. So my question is really simple. What would you say, and if you're a father, you may be in this position someday, what would you say to a kid applying to Harvard or any other elite school in the United States who doesn't get in because he is held to different and higher standards because of his skin color, and says to you, that's unfair, because of course it is? What would your response be?
Well, Tucker, I am a father, so this is a discussion about college admissions that I will have. But what I'll say is that, the elite institutions, the acceptance rates are already so low. When I applied to Harvard, it was a 10% acceptance rate. Today, it's 5%. Right. And all of these schools, they take a holistic view. And race is never going to be the determining factor, whether or not you are going to get in. There are so many other aspects that they look at. And furthermore, I would let my son know that we don't live in a colorblind society. You can't ignore centuries of discrimination, of racism, slavery, policies like the internment of Japanese Americans and the Chinese Exclusion Act, and expect that everyone's starting off at an equal spot in the race. So racism is still here, and this last election is demonstrative of that, where it was probably the most racially divisive election that ever occurred, and the president-elect was elected despite or maybe because of some racist rhetoric, and that trickles right down to our schools.
I'm sorry. Let me just ask. You haven't answered the question, which is, if you're against racism and racial discrimination, why are you explicitly supporting a system that penalizes people for the color of their skin, which you are? How can you say you're against racism and still penalize people because they're the wrong race?
Well, Tucker, the students who apply are not being penalized because of their race. The application process is entirely holistic. They look at a lot of different things. They look at test scores, but test scores aren't the one and only thing that matter in terms of college applications. They look at leadership. They look at extracurricular activities. So race is but one factor among many that are considered.
Sure.
And I would also say that there are other advantages that come to, let's say, the white community. And there are other advantages that are conferred. For example, Harvard accepts 35% of Harvard's student body, they come from private schools, while only 10% of American students go to private schools. You can look at Harvard's admittance of Northeastern students, which comprise 40% of Harvard's population, but only 17% of America lives in the Northeast. And these are all advantages that white students will also benefit from.
No, but those are all non sequiturs, actually. Well, hold on, wait, no, I'm sorry. As a Harvard graduate, you recognize a non sequitur when you hear one. I mean, I wouldn't defend any of those things. I'm not here to advocate for them. You're here to advocate for discriminating on the basis of race. I'm not saying race is the only criterion taken into account by Harvard's admissions, but you can't tell me that a kid who has to score 540 points higher just because of his race, over which he has no control, it's an immutable characteristic, is not being discriminated against. And again, why is that fair?
Well, I think race adds a lot to a person's life experience. I think, a student at my community college, Mount Sac, who has to worry about whether or not his parents are going to be deported because they came from Mexico, has a significantly different experience than a white student who doesn't have those worries. African-American student who has to worry about whether or not he's going to be shot by a police officer for, wearing a hoodie or something else. These are experiences that are deeply ingrained with race that not everyone has to experience. And it impacts them negatively.
But Asian American students are disproportionately poorer, disproportionately likely to come from public schools, disproportionately immigrants, the marginalized communities you say you speak for, and yet 540-point deficit penalty on the SAT? I mean, you're punishing the weakest, actually.
Well, actually, affirmative action benefits Asian American students. I know many graduates of Harvard who say that they are beneficiaries of affirmative action, and in fact, within the Asian American rubric, you raise a very good point. We have Hmong, Laotian, we have Pacific Islanders who regularly come from communities that are far more impoverished than even Latino or African American communities, and affirmative action actually will help them. So affirmative action does benefit Asian American communities because it recognizes that the Asian American experience is not all the same.
Okay, but that's all gobbledygook. When it comes right down to it, Harvard has a quota system for Asians, and you'll deny it because it's unconstitutional, it's illegal, but it's really clear that they do. For all races, they have, for example, last year, 11.8% of their applicants were African American, 11.8% were Hispanic. That number has remained the same. It's about 20% Asian. That has remained roughly the same over 20 years as the population of college-age Asian applicants has doubled. So there's no argument, no reasonable argument against the fact that they have a quota system as they did against Jews in the 20s. And you're defending that.
Well,
Why?
Tucker, they don't have a quota system. First of all, it is unconstitutional. But secondly, when I was at Harvard, the percentage of Asian Americans was about 16 to 17%. Today it's 21%. So it's actually increased by 30% just since the time that I graduated. So it can't possibly be a quota system unless the quota numbers are changing, and then it can't be a quota system.
Unless the applicant pool has doubled, which it has. It's doubled. And that number has not doubled, as you know. And by the way, the numbers for other racial groups have remained constant because there is a quota system. Everybody's aware of it. Let me read you a quote from a man who does this for a living. His name is Brian Taylor. He runs a business that helps Asian students get into elite colleges. He said this to the Boston Globe last year. He said, "We will make them, the Asian applicants, appear less Asian when they apply." Now, why would he do that? He does that because colleges don't want too many Asians. And you know this really well. And yet you're defending it. I don't understand that at all. They're discriminating against Asians. They're open about it. Everybody knows it. And yet that's okay because why?
Well, like I said, there isn't a quota system because the numbers have actually increased. And I believe they've actually increased for
not proportional to the increase in applications
as well.
No, actually
you're
they haven't.
Right about that. But, Tucker, that is a whole other segment worth exploring about this arms race of parents trying to get their kids into schools and applying to far more colleges now than they did before. So the population has not doubled, but the number of applications that are being sent out has. And colleges like this because it boosts their numbers, makes them seem more selective.
That's actually, let me correct you there. The population has grown dramatically, and when you add the international applicants, it's not just people pushing Harvard on the Common App. It's people who are qualified to go to Harvard with 800 SAT scores and straight A's and head of student council who are not getting in because of their race. Now, I mean, you haven't addressed this, though. If college counselors are counseling their students to pretend they're not Asian, and they do this for a living, they have no incentive to lie about it, you've got discrimination going on. And you're pretending it's not there for some weird ideological reason. And what is that weird ideological reason exactly? Because racism has taken place in America in years past?
I think these are anecdotal. I certainly put down that I was Asian when I applied to Harvard. I got in. As a Harvard admissions interviewer, most of the students that I've interviewed who have gotten in have been Asian. So, from my own personal experience, I haven't seen that. But I think the reason why some people might do that is because there is so much divisiveness where people are being told that, okay, if you are Asian, you're being discriminated against, and there are consultants who will make money off of, the desire of parents to give their children the best opportunity to get into college. And,
it's the parents'
maybe they believe that will heighten their chances. But I don't think it will.
Because when Princeton University, in a study that I think we both accept is real, says that you need to score 540 points higher than other students in order to have the same chance of getting in, I think it's a rational conclusion to believe that there's discrimination going on. Let me ask you one last question. You noted a bunch of painful periods of American history. Both of us abhor them. So the Japanese internment, slavery, Jim Crow, we all agree those are bad. Why are they bad? They're bad because they're examples of people in power hurting American citizens based on their race. How is that different from what Harvard is doing?
Well, Tucker, a lot of people will say that affirmative action in which African American and Latino students who are given admission over Asian students who have higher scores, they say that that's reverse discrimination. So then what do we say about the 60% of white students at Harvard who also are getting into Harvard despite having significantly lower scores than Asians?
That's bad. I'm not here to defend that. I believe in the meritocracy. I asked you a simple question. So is it okay to discriminate against people on the basis of their race?
So why are we focusing on the 22% versus the 60%?
Well, because the numbers are so... I'll tell you exactly why. Because it is the hardest position to be in as an Asian student of all categories. If you are an Asian girl, it's harder to get into these colleges than if you're anyone else. And so we're picking the worst example. I could pick many examples, but my question remains the same, which is it okay to discriminate on the basis of race? I was raised to believe it's not. You apparently think it is. Is it?
No, I think that we have to recognize that we don't live in a vacuum. and that racial discrimination still exists, and that we have to account for the fact that some people have a head start. And if you're going to advocate for a race-neutral policy, you're basically reinforcing the head start that some people already have.
Wait,
and
so you're saying
action is imperfect, but it's needed. It's part of the solution.
Is it racial discrimination to not let somebody into college based on his race? Can we just agree on that? Is it?
If that is the sole criteria that someone is not admitted into a college, then there would be something wrong with that, but that's just not the way that colleges work. They are not admitting students based solely on race. There are other factors that are involved. And, I've talked about a lot of others that have benefited people, such as legacies, such as whether or not you went to a private school, if you're from the Northeast, and there are a lot of advantages.
Those are non sequiturs. I mean, you're diverting from the question, and it's this, and you know that you don't have an answer to this. But if racial discrimination is wrong, and I believe it is, then it's just wrong. I mean, there's a moral element here, I think, right?
I agree that racial discrimination is wrong, but to say that you're starting off from a clean slate as an applicant when, if you are a Mexican-American student and you're worried that your parents might get deported by the next president, you have a significantly different experience than a Caucasian student.
Can I just say something really clear? Children are not responsible for the sins of previous ages, okay? No 18-year-old Asian or black or Hispanic kid is responsible for slavery or Jim Crow or the sins of America. I'm sorry. And to punish them for those things is grotesque. You would agree with that, right?
I would agree with that, but then why do bad things seem to happen disproportionately to these races that were subjected to racism in the past? You want to say that racism doesn't exist, but
well, of course I'm not.
The Black Lives Matter
you're committing
movement
racism is what I'm saying.
Is because African Americans are being killed, even if they're not armed. I mean, this is something I
wouldn't disagree with you. I'm just saying the answer is not more racism. I guess that's the point. This may be going in circles. Jay, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tucker.
Hey, everybody, welcome back.
Tucker Carlson, he is awesome. Do you know why I like him? Because I
don't understand why these idiots that keep coming on. They're so
arrogant.
Well, that's it. They're liberal and they're arrogant. Oh, I can take them on.
I'll take him on.
Exactly.
Yeah. He beat up the last 10 guys, but I'm going to be the one that gets them.
Yeah, because I'm smarter.
Yeah.
I'm smarter than Tucker Carlson. I go to Harvard.
I went to Harvard. I'm definitely smarter than this guy. No, you're not. He stays on subject. Something we should probably learn to do. Yeah, but he does. He's like a dog with a bone, man. Once he's got it in his mouth, you can pull all you want. He's not letting go of it. And does it? He's snarky, but he's calm. You know what I mean? You never see Tucker Carlson lose his shit.
And what's the good part of it is he does let them talk.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when they keep on talking, they make more of an asshole of themselves.
My brother Mike was like, well, he never lets people talk. I was like, what? I go, you better fucking watch the show again. I go, because he definitely lets people talk until they go into the realm of, complete lunacy.
Well, unless they start diatribing.
Yeah. At a certain point, you have to stop these people. But you can't just let them run on.
They'll go 15 minutes.
And say nothing. Nothing.
This is how I feel.
Yeah, but that's not the point. I don't care how you feel.
Exactly.
It's about legality. And like he said, by its very definition, affirmative action is against the Constitution. It's against every civil rights law that was written.
They've given racial preference. That's discrimination, reverse discrimination.
Right. That's what people don't understand. When these equality laws were written in,
but they
were written in for everyone. No, but they weren't written in just to give blacks rights. They were written to give everyone equal rights.
That's what I'm saying. They don't want equal rights. They want special rights.
Yes. Yeah, special treatment under the law.
Exactly.
I was on Facebook and some guy, they were talking about Hillary's new emails being leaked and stuff. Not being leaked, being put out by the FBI. And some guy was like, if they can prove it beyond the shadow of a doubt, right, then they should prosecute her. I was like, no. That's not how the law reads. It doesn't say beyond the shadow of a doubt. It says beyond reasonable doubt, dude. Reasonable. And it's already been proven within reasonable doubt that she committed crimes.
Just by the money, the fact that they were taking in that much money and putting it in the Clinton Foundation.
Yes. And they've been siphoning it off and sending it because because of all the money that never went to Haiti that was supposed to go there. They're saying the Clinton, whatever, there's like, 450 million or something. No, it's billions.
Yeah,
it's billions. 1.8 billion or something like that is already just gone. Like the $6 billion that disappeared at the Justice Department under her.
Right.
When she was Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Nobody's been able to track this money. Nobody's even looking for this money. Where is this money?
Well, that's because the Department of Justice is political.
Yeah, it's been politicized.
Yeah, for 8 years.
Yeah. Oh, the last 8 years. It's been politicized before that, but Obama took it to a whole new level. Yeah. And it's disgusting. These people...
He give Joe Biden the fucking presidential...
Yeah, some award.
Medal of Freedom?
Medal of Freedom or something like that.
Yeah. It was stupid. This guy, like I said, he made it so that anybody can get a medal.
Yep.
Everybody I know got a medal.
It means nothing.
Same as the Nobel Peace Prize. It means nothing.
Yeah. He got a Nobel Peace Prize while he was the commander-in-chief of 2 wars.
And he did nothing for the Peace Prize. Nothing. He's a community organizer.
Yeah, he handed out pamphlets. That's his claim to fame.
He's a fucking buffoon.
He's really good at here. Take this pamphlet.
I want to see him pardon Hillary. Because that would make... Because if he's going to try to be a thorn up Trump's ass, it ain't going to work after he pardons her. Nobody's going to take him serious whatsoever.
I'm thinking he's going to do it.
He ain't.
I think he's going to...
He's going to ruin his career to stick up for her. I don't see that. She lost the race. She's going to blame her for the race.
I'm telling you.
His legacy and everything else is all down the tubes because of her.
He's going to do it.
No, he ain't. And that's going to be great because she's going up for murder.
She's going to get pardoned. Holder's going to get pardoned. Lynch is going to get pardoned.
I don't see this. I can see him doing it to Holder. And probably Lynch. Depending on how much evidence they got against him. But
yeah, Holder's definitely getting him.
Yeah.
Because his ass is grass if he doesn't get one. Because, there is not even the liberal media doubts what happened. They know they don't think it rises to prosecution, maybe, but they don't deny what he did. They just don't think he should be prosecuted for it. But they all, like I said, they all agree what he did. He sent weapons to Mexico, to the drug cartels, and one of them weapons killed a border agent.
So he's complicit.
And don't forget about the gun that turned up in Belgium.
Was that one of them?
Yeah, the France bullshit.
Yeah.
One of them guns tracked back to Fast and Furious.
And these are the guns that are supposedly traceable.
Well, they were trying to prove that straw purchases of guns is bad. So we're going to show them, because that was Obama's big thing. That's what he really wanted, was gun control. But he put all his effort into Obamacare and put gun control on the back burner. And after that fiasco, there was no way he was...
Well, after 2010, everybody voted Republican.
Yeah, well, and then he lost the fucking... the House.
He put double down on fucking Obamacare, and it's going to be repealed just as quick as he fucking put it out.
Well, he actually thought when it came to gun control, he was just going to go, hey, come on, guys, give me the guns. Right? And we were all going to go, here you go.
No, but see, that's what it was. They weren't going to send out people to confiscate guns. They're going to do it little by little. Well, now, if you've got any kind of a psychotropic drug or any kind of psychological problem, you can't have a gun.
Right.
Next, it will be misdemeanors. If you ever get arrested for a misdemeanor, you can't have a gun. That's how they're going to do it.
He put a thing in, if you collect Social Security, you're not allowed to own a gun.
This is what they're going to do. They're going to put. They're going to make it so that nobody can have a gun.
First of all, Social
except
Security,
except for outlaws.
First of all, Social Security you paid into. He has no right to tell you you can't. That's my fucking money. No, I paid that fucking money.
And I found that out is that the government has no obligation to hand out Social Security.
So they can just take it and not give you the money back.
Absolutely. And it's been that way since like the 30s or 40s, somewhere around there.
Thanks, FDR. You're the best.
Yeah.
Thanks. You gave us the greatest two things America ever got. Social Security and welfare. You know what? I am so fucking glad he got polio.
Social Security, I can understand. You got to give the old something.
No, I understand that, but what you do is you do it like federal employees. They get an individual bank account.
You pay your way through. You pay into it.
Right, you pay into it, but it's
not
an
like
individual.
These public pensions. They get pensions and they didn't pay a dime into it.
No, but Social Security should be an independent bank account. Not government control. The government should have no control over it.
Yeah, but they're the ones that force you to take it out. If you were to leave it up to yourself, you wouldn't do it.
No, but it doesn't go into a government system. It goes into a private accounts.
No, they're talking about doing that now.
That's what they should have done in the 30s when they first enacted it. It was a fucking retarded idea from the beginning because...
It's called democratic corruption. It's been going on for centuries. Everything we thought they were doing, we found out they were by WikiLeaks. So I thank Putin for hacking that fucking douche.
Yeah, me too. I do too. And they tried to hack the RNC too. But the RNC at least had fucking safeguards up.
They weren't stupid enough to, my password is password.
Yeah. They didn't have servers in a fucking bathroom at a fucking sub shop in fucking Brooklyn.
All right, with that, we're going to go to a commercial. We'll be right back.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
Hey everyone, as you all know, summer is now here and everyone wants sexy summer skin. I'm partnered with Rodan & Fields, the #2 premium skincare company in the US. We have some fun treats for you guys. Check out my website at www.ewinters.myrandf.com. But wait, there's more. Join as a preferred customer to get 10% off and free shipping for all these amazing products that I'm currently obsessing over. Or email me for a free mini facial or free consultation at ewintersrf@gmail.com to get your sexy summer glow. Hey everyone, I want to tell you all about an amazing salon. Joyce's, located at 132 Ferry Street in Everett, Massachusetts. Joyce's specializes in the latest techniques in coloring, styling, cutting, and beach waves. Joyce's features Sukesha all natural nutrient products and organic color. Joyce's full-service spa and salon, located at 132 Ferry Street, Everett, Massachusetts. 617-387-6688. Specializing in you.
Hey there, all you creepy people. This is Kevin Wayne from Portland, Oregon. You're listening to Armed Radio, home of the big guns.
Hey Dan, how's the day going so far?
My day couldn't be better. You pull up less than 3 minutes after I open my Lyft app, and how do you greet me? With a kind hello? Just delightful.
Great. Care for a cookie?
A cookie? A chocolate chip cookie? You know, I'd love one.
Sure.
Hey, let me ask you something. How did you know I love this song?
I mean, come on, it's the Cold War kids. Everybody loves them.
Whoa! Who taught this guy how to merge? That was a fantastic merge!
Couldn't agree more.
That's it? That's all this costs? What's this thing running on? Smiles and high fives? You son of Mike, I love you!
Thanks. Have a great day.
Lyft. Driving you happy. Just download and go.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hot Talk. Yep.
Okay, good. I'll stop from here because Jimmy's twisting a J up, so.
Spark that fucking J bar.
Yeah. That
goes out to Jeff McCarthy. So they used to tell me we'd go up to Vermont and stay at his place there. Spark that fucking J bar.
I'm going to be doing a job in Vermont.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Mike said it was a real nice hotel, so.
Whereabouts?
I have absolutely no idea. I didn't go up to look at the place. He went up by himself. Anyways, enough about my fucking personal life. So that was Trey Gowdy.
That was a while ago, wasn't it?
No, that's what you just played.
No, I played Tucker Carlson.
Oh.
You forgot? Already?
Yes.
Because you didn't listen to it.
Well, because I told you I already heard it once and I didn't need to listen to it again.
Evidently you did.
Yes, I did. Well, I'm a pro, Jim. This is what I do.
That's the same shit I say.
Yeah. Maybe if we had, more prep time and less fucking weed time, I'd probably do a better job. So, are you going to play the clip?
Can I find it?
Oh, okay.
Jesus. Keep talking.
Fucking jump down my fucking throat. I can go home and get this shit.
I hope so.
This clip I want to hear, though, because I didn't hear this one.
I can't find it.
Oh, shit.
What do we got for topic?
I don't know.
What else happened this week?
They gave fuckface the death penalty. The kid that fucking shot up the
church.
Church. Yeah. What was his name? Dylan
Roof.
Dylan Roof. Yep. He got the death penalty. He gave it to himself. I mean, he didn't even pretend that he didn't want it. And you know what? The God's honest truth is, somebody like him needs to be dead. I mean, he just really needs to be dead. Fucking walk into a place of war. And I'm a borderline atheist, all right? But to walk into a house of worship and just start fucking killing people indiscriminately, the hell's wrong with you? You need to die. And he got what he deserved. It doesn't bring the people back, but at least it gives their families some sense of justice. Excuse me. Had to blew through that one quick.
I can't find
it. Jimmy's on the board here looking for stuff.
I can't find the fucking commencement speech, and I can't find it.
When was this from?
I just taped it today.
Oh, okay. Well, evidently you didn't put it in.
I did.
Well, that's all right.
I saved it. Whether
it doesn't look like you saved it there, Jimmy. Oh, Sammy V was supposed to be on tonight, but he blew us off. He calls us and asks us to come on, right? We're like, sure, come on. I love having Sammy V on. He's funny. I get a kick out of him, And then I try to get a hold of him, and he won't return my calls. A guinea prick.
Got it. Found it.
Oh, he found it.
All right.
Is it right?
No. This is Trey Gowdy. He's giving a commencement speech at Liberty University in Virginia. I don't know what year it was, but I found it.
I've been on the campus. It's huge.
I found it inspirational. Well, what is it there? The auditorium or whatever? That was huge.
Well, they're doing a ton of construction. I mean, the place is completely under construction. They took the whole side of a fucking mountain and carved LU, and well, it's not carved, it's done like plants and stuff.
Right.
But you can see it for like 10 miles away. You can see it carved right into the mountain. It's awesome looking.
All right. So it's about 12 minutes long. Here we go.
Credibility. You want to persuade, change people's minds to come around to your way of thinking on whatever issue it is, and I don't care about your politics. They're none of my business. You can have whatever politics you want. But I will tell you what doesn't work. Insulting people. Any of you have been married for more than a week? Any of you aspire to be married at any point in life? Let me give you a piece of free advice after 25 years of marriage. Insulting people does not work if your objective is to persuade. I am terrified of my wife, so I have never tried to insult her into changing her mind, but I have seen plenty of my friends try it, and it does not work. Look, I did not vote for President Obama. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for him. But you know what? A majority of my fellow citizens did. So when I see a bumper sticker that says, don't blame me, I didn't vote for the idiot, do you think that's persuasive? Do you think anybody that voted for President Obama is going to be persuaded, yeah, maybe I possibly made a mistake because this person called me an idiot? Life doesn't work that way. You know what happens when you're insulted? You become even more dogmatic in holding your incorrect belief than you were before you were insulted. So if your goal is to persuade, you shouldn't be insulting people. Let me tell you what else doesn't work. Hypocrisy. Telling other people how to live their lives, but you live your life a different way. Telling people that they ought to be doing X while you're doing Y. And trust me, I work in a line of work where I see a lot of it. And yes, we're all hypocrites to a certain extent, every one of us. But there are different gradations of hypocrisy. And if you are going to say that the Lord called you to go into politics, you better act like it. And if you're not going to act like it, then leave His name out of it. Furthermore, I want you to ask yourself this. These candidates that are called by God to run for office, are their campaigns any different than the people who weren't called by God? Do they engage in negative campaigning? Do they launch unfair attack ads? Can you tell anything different about them than you can the candidates who just say, I'm running because I felt like running? They claim to serve a God that used a stutterer as a spokesperson. They claim to serve a God that let His own son lose a race to a guy named Barabbas, but they don't act like it. You want to persuade people? Hypocrisy doesn't work. Insults don't work. What does work? A relationship. The person has to know that you care about them. They have to know that you care about them. There are two people in politics that I think do a wonderful job of that, and I don't care whether you support either one of them. One is Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio was raised by a woman that cleaned other people's hotel rooms. But she had hope. She had hope that her son would have a better life. And now he's in the United States Senate. And the other person who does a wonderful job of communicating hope is a guy named Tim Scott, who is my best friend in politics. And Tim Scott's grandfather, who's now 94, would hold the newspaper up every morning at breakfast. Wanted Timmy to see him reading the newspaper because of the value of education, the power of education. Wanted Timmy to be informed. Wanted him to be up on current events. So he held the newspaper up every single morning. Except he couldn't read. Can't read to this day. But he wanted to communicate hope to his grandson about the power of education. You want to persuade people? Do you speak in hopeful terms? Do you communicate hope? Are they convinced that you have their best interest at mind? Last fall, my wife made me go to a wedding with her. Let me rephrase that. My wife and I went to a wedding last fall. And I was watching a football game on my iPhone, but it's the only way I agreed to go. Look, if you want me at your wedding, don't plan it in the fall in the South. So I'm watching the football game, and I hear that same verse I hear at every other wedding. These three things remain: faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. We already knew that. I knew that. Comes right before the unity candle. But I started thinking to myself, okay, love wins. I get that. I know that. But hope must be really powerful to even be in the final three. Do you talk in hopeful terms? To the people that you interact with and you're trying to persuade, do you communicate hope? Do they think you care about them? So you got a message. You got a manner of communicating. Now, all you need is a messenger, right? You're just waiting on whoever that is. Whether it's President Obama, whether it's Ronald Reagan, whether it's Abraham Lincoln, we're just waiting around on that great messenger, right? If you were waiting around for another Ronald Reagan or another Martin Luther King Jr. or another Abraham Lincoln, you are going to have a long, miserable wait. It's not going to happen. If you're waiting on a knight or knightess to ride in on a white horse and change whatever you think ails our country, or your school, or your community, or your family, it's not going to happen. You know who the messenger is? It's you. It's not me. I don't know you. I don't know where you come from. I don't know your friends. I don't hang out with you. I'm not going home with you for spring break. I'm not going to work with you this summer. I'm not in class with you. Neither are any of the other people that you may be thinking about that are going to do it. It's you. You're the messenger. You're the leader. I work in a town that is named for Washington. I fly into an airport named for Reagan. I pass monuments to Jefferson and Lincoln and King, and every street is named after somebody famous, and there are statues and portraits in every one of the office buildings. I don't even know. They're so famous I don't even know them. Lots of famous people. And when you're flying on an airplane into Reagan, pilot usually says you may want to look off to this side to see this monument, or you want to look here and see the Washington Monument or the White House. I don't lean forward for any of that. Not anymore. I've seen it. You know what I think about when I fly into Reagan? I think about a guy you've never heard of. You've never heard of him. I was about your age. I was exactly your age. Watching television with my father. February. In the throes of a terribly frigid winter in Washington, and a plane crashes into the 14th Street Bridge. And all the passengers except a half dozen were killed on impact, and those half dozen were in the icy waters of the Potomac River. And I'm watching this on television with my dad. This is before 24-hour news, but it was captivating the country. So you got these people in the icy waters of the Potomac, and you got the whir of a helicopter coming. And that helicopter lowers a rope ladder into the waters of the Potomac, and it falls into the hands of a man you've never heard of before. If I called his name right now, you don't know him. So he has life in his hands, and he passes it to a stranger. And that person is hoisted to safety, and the helicopter takes her away, and it comes back, and the same scene repeats itself 4 more times. And every time, he's got his hands on a rope ladder. He is this close to saving his life. And every single time, he passes it to a stranger. Not his wife, not his daughter, not his best friend, a stranger. And when the helicopter came back for him, he had succumbed to fatigue and drowned. His name was Arlen Williams. I'm not asking you to be Reagan. I'm not asking you to be Lincoln. I'm just asking you to live a quiet life of conviction and virtue and actually live out what you profess to believe. And if you can do that, you'll be a leader, you'll be persuasive, and your generation will get this country headed back in the direction that you want it to be in. Lord, I pray that you will give these young women and men wisdom and courage. There are difficult challenges in life. Help them know what they believe, why they believe it. Help them to communicate in a manner that is reflective of your attributes. And I am reminded that you only described yourself one way. You said that you were low in spirit, humble. I pray that you'll give them the courage to believe that they can be that messenger. In Christ's name, amen.
Welcome back, everybody.
Wow, what a great speaker, huh?
Isn't he?
He's just... I'm not easily
I remember
moved.
the plane story.
Yeah, I remember
when
that.
It happened.
Yep, when the plane went into the Potomac.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about the guy dying at the end, so
As a matter of fact, my right hand to God, we were driving through D.C., me and my brother Mike, heading back from a job, and we were going across a bridge, and he goes, right there is where the plane went into the water, and he pointed to the spot. I was like, no shit, huh? He's like, yeah. I go, I remember that. This was, like 6 months ago or something like that. It's kind of weird. No, that we were driving across the spot right where it happened.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah, I don't know if it happened in the 90s or the 80s.
It must have been like the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
But they had it all on film, too. It was all on film.
Yeah, I remember.
And it's not when everyone was walking around with cell phones. A camera crew just happened to catch it. Yeah, they called him the fifth guy or something like that at first, till they got his name. Because they didn't have his name for like the longest time.
Well, he said there was 6 people, but when they came back, the fifth
right?
guy,
He was the fifth, the sixth. That's what they called him.
Well,
the
he
fifth,
said
the
the first
sixth
time,
guy.
and then he said when they came back, they came back 4 more times. So that would be he would have been the 6th.
Yeah, that's what they called him, the 6th guy.
Yeah.
Damn. Do you know what?
I would have never had that many trips. I would have
just said, put 2 in at once.
Right, exactly.
Well, we'll be overloaded. Fucking overload the fucking thing.
Fly a little harder.
Yeah.
Get another helicopter out here.
Yeah. Throw a little more throttle into that thing.
You know what I mean?
At least grab him and just get them to the other. Just
get one inside the helicopter, even if he hangs on to the
and
ladder.
one dangle.
And dangles, yeah. It's warmer than being in the water.
Fucking A right. Yeah, I do remember that. Trey Gowdy was my pick for Attorney General. I wanted him so bad to be Attorney General.
Because he's a good litigator.
He's the best of the best of the best. He's never lost a case.
I can see him running in 2024.
I'd vote for him.
Oh, I
in
would
a
too.
fucking heartbeat. I think he just doesn't want to give up a Senate seat.
I hope he doesn't try running against him in 2020.
Nah, nobody's going to run against Trump. On the Republican ticket.
They'll try.
They're not going to.
Well, it all depends how the next 4 years
he's the incumbent
unfold.
president.
No, that's what I'm saying. It all depends how the next 4 years unfold.
Well, that's true. Then they could do it.
The liberals think he's going to be a complete disaster.
They said
I think he's going to be completely successful.
The same thing with Reagan. They said the exact same things with Trump. He's unstable. He can't give him the nuclear code. He'll bankrupt the country. He's a racist. He's a bigot. That is the exact same thing they said about Reagan. And what were the Reagan years like? They were good years. We watched the Soviet Union collapse.
Yeah.
The economy was great. I had fucking great jobs. The job I'm doing now, Jimmy, I should be getting twice as much as I do. And it's not my brother's fault. He just can't afford to pay me because he's getting shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I could walk out the door on any day of the week back in the fucking 80s. It was like hail coming out of the sky, fucking jobs. I made more in the 90s than I do now. I was making better money in the 90s than I do now. And that's no shit. I mean, a lot of it's my fault because I never stayed at one profession long enough because I just wanted to try everything, and I pretty much did. I've had more jobs than fucking, oh man. You tried a lot of shit, right?
Yeah, like I said, I got bored.
Yeah, I got bored at a job. I want to try something else. I think I'm going to stay with satellite, though. I kind of like it. Jimmy.
It's hard to find a job you like.
That's what I try to tell my wife. I'm like, do you know how many people fucking dread going to work every day? I don't dread going to work. It's an adventure a lot of times.
The job I had, I loved it. I was going to different companies and calibrating their scales and stuff. I just happened to lose it one day, and I ended up getting fired. You know what I mean?
Jimmy didn't take his meds.
Pretty much. This is before meds. That's
what really? Oh, so you were just a hothead.
I was just starting.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? I'd go down the highway. I'd miss the exit. It would piss me off. The anger would be fucking horrendous. I'd turn around to, next exit, come back, miss it again.
Well, you just weren't focused.
And I'm banging the fucking truck. I'm screaming up and down.
You have a focus problem at that point. You're just not concentrating on what you're doing.
Nine things, like I said, that's when it's when it all started.
I'm glad I don't, and I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm glad I don't have them problems. I don't have anger issues. My brother Mike asks me stuff because he knows I'll remind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a wicked good memory. I'm pretty fucking... It drives people nuts, too, though, because I say things that they said. It's like, dude, you said it. Just follow through.
Yeah, I need key words to remember thoughts or memories or something like that. And it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be reminding Jimmy to upload the show.
Are we ready to go? No, we're not.
Nope, we're not recording shit.
All right. We got to go.
Oh, we're going to cancel this? All
right, folks. We'll catch you next week. Sorry to be in a rush, but times are running.
I was young. I was foolish. I was angry. I was fun. I was charming. I was lucky. Tell me how I charm.